What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman here for Stokastic.com, back again with my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings. Monday, December 16th. I could not remember the date to save myself on that one. Be sure to hit the like button, though. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. That's where you get updates to my top 10 for DraftKings and for FanDuel. It's not going to be anywhere else other than Twitter. So you got to follow me. And I want you guys to sign up at Stokastic. It's never been easier. You can pay us $0 and get a month of whichever sport you choose. Projections, ownership, sims, premium Discord. Costs you nothing for a month. All you have to do is click the link in the description of this video and sign up through one of our partners. That could be as little of an overlay as like $20 deposit into a pick'em site. And you'll get something from them too. It's an incredible deal. If you've ever wanted to get behind the paywall before, now is the time to do so. Keegan Murray couldn't get himself into the top 5. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up at number 5, I'm looking at James Harden, and he is not very popular today, but point guard only 9,400, projected for 25 points, 8 assists, 5.5 boards, and close to 2 stocks, but he's got a great matchup against Utah. They are not very good defensively. I like this Clippers team in a weird way. Like, Harden hasn't been great, but he's still running the show. The ball is going through him basically every time, unless it's not a Norm Powell shot. And when you get to face somebody like Utah, I think James Harden's going to find it pretty easy. They don't have a ton of guys that can slow him down. This could actually be a big free throw day for Harden, which I find fun but boring, but that's okay. This dude's not getting a lot of ownership. I love getting to James Harden in the larger field GPPs as a pivot to somebody that's pulling a bit more than they should. The first of many Toronto Raptors is here, and that's RJ Barrett. Small forward, power forward eligible, 9,100, projected for 27 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and a stock. He's playing 35 minutes in a competitive matchup, and this is going to be a competitive matchup. It's a 1-point line against the Bulls. Fastest pace game on the slate. Biggest total on the slate. No Scotty Barnes. No Emmanuel Quickly. You're getting an MPE on RJ Barrett. I wish it was shooting guard small forward, but we'll take what we can get here. These guys look great. Toronto, that is. We're going to talk about 2 more dudes over the next 3 options. RJ Barrett is the first one we got to. You should be getting a lot of the Raptors today. Like I said, a lot of the Raptors today. Jakob Poeltl in at number 3. Now, he's massively owned so far, and it makes sense. 32 minutes a night. Big time usage increase without Scotty Barnes around. 17 points, 12 boards, 3 assists, 2.5 stocks. If it wasn't for Nikola Jokic, he'd be owned even more because Jokic looks great today. But Jakob Poeltl combines that bit of upside with a reasonable price tag, and a price tag that's probably a little bit too low for what he is when Scotty Barnes isn't around, and Emmanuel Quickly to that degree. So even though he's center only, he's the second best center option for today. Functionally the easiest one to get to with salary, but if you just want to pay up for a 12-2 Nikola Jokic, I'm not going to talk you out of that. He's heavily owned too. And that's why he shows up a little bit ahead of Jakob Poeltl. 37 minutes for the Joker, taking on Sacramento, 12-2, projected for, buckle up, 29 points, 13 boards, 10 assists, 2 stocks. Yeah, that's a straight triple-double right out of the gate. He's playing more than 36 minutes every night. He's coming off a bit of a stinker, which I know people aren't going to love. But I have him more than 15 fantasy points ahead of the second highest projected guy on today's slate. That is a huge gap, a chasm. And his ceiling looks very different than anybody else. I mean, he's like 45% to go north of 70 fantasy points today. And if he scores 70 fantasy points today, you have to have him. He's the best guy you can pay up for. He's the second best play on the slate. But we do have one guy ranked ahead of him because value matters. And that value play is our final Raptor. That's going to be Jonathan Mogbo. Now, I went 28 minutes, power forward center eligibility, so a little flexibility, 4,400. Projected for 11 points, just shy of 8 boards, 2.5 assists, and 2 stocks. He got the start at the 4 in their last game in Scotty Barnes' place. I'm assuming he does that again. He can play more than 28 minutes. He can get 29, 30, 31 in a competitive matchup, which it should be. he's a 0.9 to 1 fantasy point per minute guy, depending on how things are cooking for him. He's not going to get there with a ton of scoring. You're hoping he gets out in transition a little bit, gets some garbage buckets, rebound plus a bucket. Those are the types of things that you want out of Mogbo. But you don't even really need all that much out of him. I mean, we're talking about needing him to get to like 28 fantasy points, and that'll be useful. Anything north of that is gravy. So the easiest guy that you can get to, he's the most owned guy on the slate. He deserves every bit of it. The number one play for today is Jonathan Mogbo. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Monday, December 16th. Make sure you're checking out my top 10s on Twitter. We'll have updates later today, either just before the deeper dive or just after it. We're not going to have a contenders tomorrow. Only one game. We've got the finals of the NBA Cup, and there's no basketball on Wednesday at all. But I will be back on Thursday for a massive slate. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Good luck, everybody. Win that money.